right, y'all. Happy Thursday. Checking in live on this Thursday evening. A great evening to everybody out there. Happy Thursday. We are live. A few moments. Tell somebody it is time for another powerful conversation. Welcome, because it's time to move it and lose it and to take your health to the next level, all right? Because your health is definitely so great as well, all right, y'all? So, great evening. I feel so short on this night. All right, so I'm just gonna have to figure it out. All right, so great evening, everybody. All right, that's better. Happy Thursday, everybody. Great evening. Let me go ahead and get this live out. All right, we are chiming in at healthydrivenlife.com, live on social media. And tonight, what are you hungry for? That's the conversation, and that is the question of the evening. What are you really hungry for? Let's talk about it. All right, let's get this party popping on tonight. So great evening from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast, everything in between and all around the world. My name is Pam McCray, and I am here with my incredible BFF, none other than Mr. Nathan McCray, and some beautiful women around the world. They're chiming in from the East Coast. I'm gonna go ahead and I want to bring on, first and foremost, Valerie Stewart. Go ahead and let everybody know, Valerie, where you are chiming in from tonight. And you shared something with me in the beginning of this call, Nate and I. Tell them how excited you are about that weight loss you've had in just the last few days.
Okay, well, good evening, everyone. I'm Valerie Stewart. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. And as Coach Pam said, I am super excited. We started our Body Balance Challenge on this past Monday. It's day 4. And I think my scale was lying, but I guess it's not. I've already lost 5 pounds this week, so I'm excited. I have goals and just looking forward to continuing.
I love it. Congratulations. 5 pounds, and it's only been 4 days, right? And that is the power of these products, right? You shout out to the skinny drops, our body balancing drops. And you know what, Valerie, it's so strong that you mentioned that, because there's somebody out there that's struggling with those weight loss goals right now. They don't even realize, clue, it's your hormones. 100%, right? So that's what those drops are going to do, to really balance the hormones, and really helps with, the topic that we're going to talk about on tonight. All right. So let's keep it moving. All right. We are going to go all the way to the VA, right? We're going to bring on none other than Ms. Franchon Hutchinson. Go ahead and say hello to everybody on tonight.
Hello, everyone. I am so excited to be here. My voice is a little raspy, but I'm here. And I'm very excited about this new challenge, Body Balancing Challenge. I know that I ventured out and purchased that high-tech scale. And since I got that scale, I've lost 10 pounds.
Ooh, yes. I love it. Maybe I need to go just buy me one of them scales then, right?
And it gives you all the info, but we're in day 4 of this challenge, so I'm feeling good.
Right. You said you sent us the link to that, didn't you? Right? On Amazon.
Yes, that Renpho. Yep. I did.
Yeah, baby. Let's go order that tonight, all right?
I don't need the scale. I understand if you do. It's okay.
Right. No, that was a high-tech scale, and and I said I forgot about it. I want to get it.
It
So
gives you your BMI and everything. So
yes. Well, congratulations, 10 pounds down. That's these smiles represent on the other side of the screen tonight. We are losing weight, feeling good, and
yes.
it's the summertime, right? So, that's exciting. So, yes, to everyone that's out there and that's chiming in on tonight, we want to say hello to all of you. Definitely take the time to tag, share. If you're watching this live, if you're watching this later on, this is a conversation that we are having on Thursdays to really talk about something that we are all very passionate about, right? We started a challenge maybe about a month or so ago, and which we call it the Move It to Lose It Health Challenge. And it's really all about simplicity because we realize that there are so many people around the world who are sedentary. They're not moving their body in order to really live life to the fullest and to live the healthiest life that we all deserve to live, right? And we only have one life to live. And so at the end of the day, it's really challenging you to roll out of bed, to drink some water because water is so key to our overall health, and then to begin to move, doing squats. Y'all been doing y'all squats every day? I know, right? Yes, right. So that means the muscles, building that muscle, which is very important. And you're gonna go through a little bit of pain, but I've been doing that every day, very intentional, because it's something about when you're intentional towards your health goals and your weight loss and just overall to where you really begin to see the results. Then you got to do some jumping jacks. And then as you come down, we are firm believers in the Tahitian noni. So we take our noni because that is God's gift, and the advantage, another product, and which you heard about tonight, are these drops, our body balancing drops that are a game changer to really speed things up and to balance your hormones. In addition to, what these other products do. And then eat right, eat right throughout the day and take a walk, right? 15, 20, 30 minutes, in order to balance things out. Because if you're just sitting all day long and you're not moving, you're going to end up finding out that later on down the road, that's going to be a problem. Right, babe?
Absolutely.
So, so what we're going to do tonight is we are going to talk about another Power Pack challenge. What are you really hungry for? You know what? And I want to go to these ladies on here tonight. And because honestly, when we come on here, there's moments in which we kind of give them a heads up on what we're going to talk about. But they tell you very rarely do we ever really give them a heads up because we want these conversations to be authentic. A lot of times when we jump on, they're like, okay, y'all, there's the topic. They have no background knowledge or anything. And I kind of like that because, we're just going to really, they speak from the heart. Nate and I, we got some facts and some things like that we can drop. But at the end of the day, when you both saw the topic today, what are you hungry for? What are you really hungry for? I think it is. From triggers to truths. What came to mind? Anybody could, either one of you can chime in.
I don't know. For me, I was thinking about it twofold. Like, am I thinking about what I want for my future, what I want my future self to look like? Then also I think about those things that, and I can just attest to like the past couple weeks, like you think that you're okay. I can just do a little something, eat a little something. But if your mindset isn't right, you'll fall into those traps where it just becomes really bad. So,
Right.
I'm just thinking like, what do you really want? When I read it, like the first thing that I thought about was like, what do I really want? If I have a goal and I said that I've been trying for 2 years to get to this goal weight, what am I doing to put in place to even make that goal? So like, if I know I have this goal and I want to get to a certain weight, then I have to do the things to get there. And I can't let bad habits and everything, I can't fall into those. So that was what I thought about. I was just like, oh, my mindset has to be right so that I don't fall into the traps with the triggers from food.
No, I love it. I love it. For you to immediately go to the mindset piece, because that's key. Valerie, at the end of the day, if we don't shift our minds, if we don't first get it up here, then nothing else is going to fall into place. And it's not until we really make up our mind and identify. That's key. We have to identify, what do we really want, right? What are we really hungry for? And yes, we're talking about, dealing with the physical aspect of it. But, in life as a whole, you have to identify the why. And when you identify the why and now you have the goals, everything else will begin to come into alignment because you know what you want. And then that helps you to eliminate those triggers. It helps you to stay on the right path and to learn how to say no to the things that we know are detrimental to our health and to our goals, and to, being able to accomplish what we really want to see happen. Right. So go ahead, Franchon.
So when I saw you, the topic, it reminded me, I was like, wait a minute, is it 8 o'clock? Oh, I need to eat. Gotta eat before 8. Gotta eat before 8 and make sure I stay, because I can get tied up in what I'm doing with my clients, in here working on my computer, doing paperwork, and lose track of time.
Right.
Because of these supplements are definitely helping to supplement my appetite and everything, but I don't want to mess around and be 9 o'clock and my stomach growling. Too late to eat then. So I'm trying to stick to that regimen of making sure I eat before 8 and let my body fast until, say, 10 the next morning. So staying on that and keeping it, on the regular cycle, it keeps me focused on what I want my body to look like, my inside and my outside. So.
Right. No, I love that. And I love how it took you back to the whole Move It to Lose It challenge, because that's a part of it where, we're eating better throughout the day, but we also have put ourselves on an intermittent fasting regimen, basically, where there's an eating window from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. So therefore, getting up and moving your body, but then being in control of our eating habits and saying that, after 8 o'clock, nothing else goes into the body. And that's just simply because of the many benefits.
Water.
Yeah, water, right? Water, absolutely. Because of the many benefits when we allow our digestive system to actually take a break. We don't have to always be constantly eating something, but if we allow our mind to be in control, our minds will tell us that, we need to snack. Right? How many of us have been there, right? We need to snack. We want to eat more. And let's start off talking about that, because one of the things that we wanted to open up with tonight when it comes time to what are you hungry for is, a lot of times there are a lot of cravings, food cravings that people end up craving, that we don't really understand why these cravings are occurring, but it's real talk, right? We all have those moments. What are some of the things that you can think about when it comes to, I know, let's talk about the cravings. What are some of the things that you can think about when it comes time?
Right now, this is political, Nate. I'm just being political.
I see.
Because I don't believe none of this.
You don't believe any of it? What do you mean?
I don't believe that people don't know this information.
You don't believe they don't know it?
Yeah, I don't believe that people don't know that they're having food cravings.
Oh, people know.
I don't believe.
People know they have food
I don't
cravings.
believe that people don't know that they're eating bad.
Oh, yes, they do.
Also,
they don't care.
I'm telling you that
It tastes good.
if you listen to what I'm saying,
okay.
I'm telling you that I don't believe that people don't know
because we all on the same
that
page.
they're eating bad.
Right.
I don't believe that there's a lack of knowledge of what you should do and what you shouldn't do. See, when I start talking like this, people get very defensive. So I'm trying to be political, Nate. So I was just listening to y'all.
No, we want the real
I was
Nate
listening to y'all talk about all of the stuff. I mean, we got notes here about cravings and sugar and salty snack triggers. And, comfort food creates cycle of temporary relief, followed by frustrations and shame. I mean, we got all of these notes, and we can print notes until we have no more paper.
That's why I don't give them notes so they can just speak.
Right. Well, the reality is this, and for anybody that's hearing this, you know, me, I am a realist, and one thing that I don't like to do is to sit around and pretend something is
Right.
that is not.
Right.
And I don't believe that there's a lack of knowledge. We live in an information age,
Mm-hmm.
right? People know. I mean, you can go on Google, or for the fancy people, Chat GPT, and just Google anything that you want
Right.
to Google, that you
And it'll pop
want
right up.
to find out. And it just pops up. So when we're talking about, I mean, I got 10 different things here. Let me just give y'all an example, because people are getting more and more, I'm just going to say it, people get more and more sensitive as the years go by. I got 10 mental strategies, a cheat sheet here, to give you guys that will help with food cravings and overeating, right? And I'm going to give you those, but none of those matter unless you've made a conscious, definitive decision,
Like Valerie said.
to do better.
Mhm.
Exactly.
And even what Valerie said, Valerie lost some weight, and then she said, "But I messed up." Right? So we get to, I lost 5 pounds, and then I messed up.
Mhm.
Those are the things I like to explore.
Mhm.
What happened during the mess up, Valerie?
Right.
The
Let's
mess
talk.
up was before the the losing, because I'm just like, oh, it's the holidays. You know, this day doesn't matter. I'll work it off, you know, let me enjoy. And then the enjoying went too long. And I'm thinking, you know, this isn't right. So I'm like, if I'm going to do this challenge, I'm going to do it. I'm going to stop playing. I'm going to stop pretending and eat from what I'm supposed to eat and not snack here and snack there. Just, I have to, like, in my head, do it. And if I mess up, that's nobody's fault but my own. And I just have to own it and stop making excuses. I mean, for real, like, how many years have I made excuses?
Yeah, I think
That's good.
I think we look at, we look at we fall 7 times 7 and get forgiven, and whatever the scriptures are, and we just keep doing the same thing and keep getting back on the horse. So we're like falling off the horse, getting back on the horse, falling off, getting back on. And it tends to be, and this isn't just for Valerie, this is for anybody that's hearing this.
Right.
I don't like to discuss things that aren't real, right?
Right.
We tend to make plans to fall off more than we plan to stay on.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is people like me start to lose faith in humanity and understand what's really happening when it comes to people actually doing the right thing. And I have to really put my stuff in the right compartment. Say, okay, so I should not be as concerned about this, be concerned about this, because this is what I can affect, right? And when we talk about now, all of us are in that phase to where we're like, we're only working with people we want to be worked with, right? We're not convincing anybody that they need to do anything these days, because because the tables have turned, the seesaw has went the other way, right? So it's like now it's popular subliminally, I guess right out front, it's popular to be unhealthy. And I know that's rough, that's tough to say, and maybe you don't see it that way, but it's popular now to be obese. I saw somebody on social media today, and I'm just gonna say the statement because they put it on social media. So why can't I say it, right?
Okay.
They say it's fat girl season.
Oh wow.
I'm like, okay. And y'all, I get it. Y'all ain't gonna like me for this, but you never do, because I speak truth, right? So she said it's fat girl season, but you know what you see in the comments? I know that's right. It's fat girl season. Yeah, let's do. And it's nothing but liking. I love this. And I'm sitting there like, I'm not saying body shame the girl. I'm not saying dog her. But what happened to the season to when you didn't have anything constructive to say, so you just didn't say anything, right? So I don't say anything, but we're in a season now to where we condone and we cheer, we hurrah statements like that, and people don't understand how detrimental the statement like that is to the person making it, because now you're blessing it, you're co-signing on it. So it's like, okay, it's okay to be overweight, it's okay to be obese, and I'm just going to embrace it and be who I am. I'm going to be comfortable in my own skin. And see, nobody, when people start talking like this, everybody gets real defensive. The blood pressure goes up because now the scales have tilted in the favor of being overweight and obese. And we get very good at making excuses as to why we are the way we are. And that's what I was saying earlier. We've gotten better at falling off the horse than we have gotten at staying on the horse. How do we get the conversations that interest me is how do we get on the horse
and stay on
the doggone horse, right? And guess what? The world isn't for you staying on the horse. The world isn't even for you getting on the horse, because when you go out into the world every day, you are a mirror for someone else, and they are a mirror for you.
Right.
If they identify with you, if they look like you, if they talk like you, then you're like, okay, we can do stuff together, right? But the problem is we tend to take the negative side of that and we say, okay, it's fat girl season. I never knew that to be a season, but it's fat girl season, and before long it'll be a fat girl holiday. And I'm not just talking about girls, I'm talking about overweight and obese people as a whole, right?
Well, that is the direction of the statistics.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate because
11% of Americans are severely obese. Here's where the numbers come from. 34% of Americans are obese. And then you got the other 70% of Americans are overweight. Now we know that there's some skewed things in there, right? They're not skewed, but there's some intricacies because there's some lines there. So you can be Pam and I, we can toe at any moment being overweight, right? I was telling Pam today, I'm 195. I need to get down to 190. I feel better when I'm 190. That means my body fat index is higher. So that scale that you got, Franchon, will tell me that I'm overweight. My BMI is skewed. But I'm in the mirror and I'm like, I don't look too doggone bad, right? Because the mirror is my scale. But that's the balance that you have to understand, you have to have. If you genuinely like what you see in the mirror, if you like being overweight and obese, you genuinely say, I love this, I love how I look, I'm good with it.
But is it healthy?
But then you have to own that. Watch this. You said that. Like Franchon said, you have to own it. Like Valerie said, you have to own it 100%, 365. You have to own it. So that doesn't mean that when you go, all of a sudden you go to the doctor or you get a report and now you in the hospital, something has happened and you get a report from the doctor and now you got all of these bad numbers and you're saying, well, I don't know what happened, right? Or now all of a sudden you're in the hospital laying there and now you got to go fund me going. Now you're asking everybody else to own all of the bad decisions that you've made. And it's not theirs to own.
Right.
Well, people are going to rally behind you, right? Even though you did nothing. And I'm talking to somebody out there. I'm stepping on some toes right now with some combat boots on. Even though you did nothing to own your situation that built up to that, now there are people that are going to help bail you out. And we have to get to a point to where we're owning it before we get into that situation. Like we said last week, we were getting out of the hindsight, right? Living for where we are now, because we tell our kids all the time, you know, what you're doing now creates the body for you that you're going to have down the road.
Mhm.
And I saw this, and then I'm gonna shut up. I saw this on this parent site. It said, parents, your kids, when your kids get older, they will be able to identify who the bad guy was in the family. Right now, the person that's making them do right is the bad guy.
Mhm.
Person that's crutching them and allowing them to do and eat what they want to eat is the good guy right now.
Mhm.
I lived this, y'all. I
Mhm.
lived it. I was a mama's boy. My mama catered to me, and I didn't listen to what my dad was saying. And all I knew was mom was buying me this, buying me that, doing this for me, doing that for me. And it wasn't until I went to the military that I realized that my dad was trying to tell me and equip me with all of the things that I needed. Now that could be either parent on either side, right? But what we do now is what creates the future for us. And I know that's kind of hard. That's not hard, but it's difficult if you have no vision, right? And my people perish for lack of vision.
No vision.
Right? If you have no vision, which means you're not applying the knowledge, you don't have the knowledge to apply. Now you don't have vision to see what's going to happen 5-10 years down the road. You're living for the now. Then you either live hard and fast now and pay for it later, or you sacrifice now and live the life that you should, the longevity all throughout. And the good thing about it, if you sacrifice now, you get to live a good life now. It's just a good life different than what the populace says is good, because misery loves company. We see it all the time. I was driving the other day and saw a man eating off the ground. Just not right off the ground. And I'm like, oh my God, what are we in the world to? And if you're really looking at what's going on around you, y'all,
Yeah.
Woo,
Yeah.
I can't handle it. I can't. So that means everybody out there has to separate themselves from the general population of people that are doing what everybody else is doing. And see, when you start talking like this, you start losing friends. You start losing loved ones. You start losing a lot of people that want you to be like them. But you create a dynamic, a life that you can have power in if you do that. Now I'm speaking to somebody out there, I don't know who that is, but somebody out there right now understands exactly what I'm saying. You've gotten to that level of life and you realize that, you know what, I got to start making small changes now. Yes. I got to start crawling so that I can start walking so that I can start running, figuratively speaking, right? So those are when I sit back and I'm just political, I'm just going to sit here and watch you guys say this stuff that has always been said before. And people are going to jump on. They're going to nod. Yeah, that's right. But they'll get off and do nothing until you smash them toes. Until you start getting into that vein, the same things that the average person would not say. And people don't like you, but they can't deny that it's the truth. You can't deny it. So you have to make a choice. Who do I want to be? Do I want to be the person that doesn't sugarcoat it and tells it how it is, or am I going to be part of the game? So what you got, Pam?
No, that's good stuff. I mean, so at the end of the day, you said it. People know what to do.
They do.
All right. So why? Let's talk about it. Why are they doing it? Because it's there's reasons behind it, right?
You know why they're doing it.
It's easy. It's easy. That's why they don't eat what they should for their body health, to cut out some of the diseases and things, because fast food is so much easier. It's faster. They make the excuse that they don't have time. And I think about something I always heard growing up: train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he won't depart. A lot of people take that as just Bible, but that covers every aspect of a child's life, from what they eat, what you let them watch, what you let them listen to, and everything, and how you communicate with them. So if you don't teach that child that vegetables are good, like for instance, my grandson, we just started being able to get him to eat meat last year. He's a straight veggie kid. He loves his vegetables. You know, things that normal kids don't eat, like green beans and broccoli and greens and peas and things like. You got to train them small, and then not always stick a French fry in their mouth or a nugget in their mouth to hush them up, thinking that's going to satisfy them, because then that I don't like that. I don't want that. But if your eating habits are bad, how can you train your child to eat well?
And then how can you also give your child bad things to eat when you know that they're bad, right?
Exactly.
The train up a child thing is the foundation of it.
Yes.
You know, I asked Pam a question today because, you know, we often talk about menus and what are we going to, Pam's like, well, what do I want to cook? You know, the kids don't want to eat nothing new. They just like want to eat the same stuff all the time. And I said, that's because you cook the same stuff all the time. Pam is the cooker in the house. I don't cook nothing. I'll toast some bread, you know, I'll do some little stuff. I'll scramble some eggs, right? Pam is the cooker, right? Pam has her finger on the pulse of what we eat, and the kids too. Now we know that our kids, we got kids that are 18 in the house now, almost 18. How old is Aria? 20 and 25, right? For the most part, they can feed themselves, right? Even our youngest son, he works and he makes money and he feeds himself. And guess what they eat? Garbage. Except for one. Zaria eats. Zaria has a very strict diet. He's very inspirational. And her body
meal preps and everything.
Right? Everything shows what she does.
Right.
But I told Pam said, well, you know, I'm gonna jump and give you guys some of our conversations that Pam and mine. You know, we were talking and she said, well, you know, we need some ideas of meals that we can eat, you know, and because Pam is not like her mom. Pam don't mind cooking, but Pam don't love cooking. No. Pam's mom loves.
I mean, I can cook, but my mom
her mom loves cooking. So we're talking, and I said, well, Chat GPT, you know, healthy meals. You Chat GPT everything else. Right? You see that? Simple, healthy meals. And we started to look at it, and she started to say, oh, we got this and this, but the kids aren't going to eat this.
Right. Well, you know what? Because this is what I said, because my chat knows me. My chat knows that when I'm chatting, I'm talking health, I'm talking, you know, healthy stuff. So when I asked it to populate some meals, it was meals that I know that they not eat, but they're not going to eat it.
But what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? So to let you guys know what mindset is, okay? Right? Because parents, some of y'all got younger kids than we got, but this day and age, the older kids don't leave home yet. So some of y'all can identify. They don't leave home anymore. They want to stay forever. Right? So you got older adults that look at you upside your head and expect you to cook. They really don't have a choice, right? They don't have a choice. But here it is: when you cook whatever they're gonna eat. I asked Pam, I said, when your mom
Christian eats anything.
Christian may eat anything, right? But he also has the ability to go buy everything.
Yeah.
Right. So I said, when your mom used to cook, what did you eat?
What she cooked.
Not
an option.
Right?
Not an option. Same here.
Right.
You hungry, you eat. You don't want it, see it.
Yeah, what would she say? Well, yeah, that's it, Franshawn. If this is what we eat, well, I don't like that. Well, go eat.
You're gonna be hungry. Exactly.
Go to sleep hungry. Right? And what did the child do? Ate the food.
Ate it.
Ate the food. They ate the food. Right? So here we are in this newfangled society that we're in, catering to our kids.
Right.
Cooking one thing for them and another thing for us under the guise of they won't eat what we eat because we eat healthy. They should be eating healthy too. And if you don't want to eat it, then don't eat it. That just means more for us. Guess what? human nature will kick in, self-preservation will kick in. And
Right.
if you don't have the money to go out and buy something else, what you gonna do, Franchon?
You better cook and eat.
Cook and eat it.
Cook
Right.
and eat
Right. We've gotten away from this, y'all. And we don't, it's like the knowledge that we should have is at our fingertips. And we even see, we have the glasses, the X-ray vision glasses to see through things that mattered 10 years ago.
it.
Now you don't even need the X-ray vision glasses anymore.
Mhm.
They're telling you right into your face
Mhm.
that they're poisoning you.
Mhm.
It's right there. It's not even hidden anymore.
Mhm.
So, but we're still eating it. Now we get down to the real, to the nitty gritty. Why do we still eat bad when we know that it's bad for us?
Well,
Cause it's easy and
Now-
it's quick.
Some of us are lazy.
They ain't got to cook it. They just go get it. It's quick and easy.
Mhm.
easy,
Yeah.
lazy, but I'm gonna give y'all a fact. All right. Here's a fact. All right. One of the reasons why people end up filling the void with whatever. Okay. And this is a fact. People under chronic stress are 43% more likely to turn to unhealthy snacks and binge eating. That is a fact.
Okay, so since knowledge is abundant, I can promise you that most of the people that are listening to us right now
Mhm.
know that to be true.
Right.
Mhm.
They've already know. I can promise you, we don't live back in 20 years ago.
Right.
Knowledge is too abundant
Mhm.
right now.
Right.
Everything is right in your face. You see it, you know it.
Right.
So the true question is, why aren't people making healthier choices? They'll tell you the age-old thing is it's too expensive to eat healthy. Valerie
Yeah,
told y'all
that's
that people,
definitely excuse.
right? Valerie told you that people are lazy. They just want to go through drive-throughs,
Mhm.
right? You know, Franchon told you that people just don't want. They want to do what's easy. So
Mhm.
it's easier to go through the KFC drive-through or the McDonald's drive-through. Somebody said earlier on social media, said, if you still eating at McDonald's, we can't be friends. That's it. I said, we can't be friends if you still eating through at McDonald's.
Yes.
Yet alone drive-throughs, right? Fast food, right? You lose friends if you start talking about not eating McDonald's. Good riddance, right?
See,
Mindset, right? It's a mindset, right?
Yeah.
So it's not a loyalty thing. It's a what's right. I love you because I want you to live, right? But you have to be accountable for your choices. So when we get into this thing, we start looking at all of the information that's out in what we see, and we ask ourselves, why do people still go through? We can throw all of these things out, comfort, people are lazy, yada, 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 and people are like still doing what they should not do. So
well, the
now,
worst part is they're allowing the kids to throw temper tantrums if they can't have these McDonald's, the French fries, the nuggets. You know, I want McDonald's and
Right.
won't eat.
Right.
And it blows my mind. I'm like, where they do that at? I'm like, really? What bill does that child pay to tell you what they ain't gonna eat and what they want? But maybe, okay, so I'm old school, but no.
Right. No,
If
you're
you-
absolutely right.
Saying, well, they won't eat that. They won't eat that. But have you exposed them to it? And the real kicker is the fact they won't eat it because you don't eat it.
people
Right.
afraid of their kids, Franchon. They afraid of their kids.
Yep, clearly.
They don't.
But
They
I'm
don't.
not afraid of none of mine.
Right. Real parents ain't afraid of their kids, right?
Mm-mm.
So tell the kids all the time, look, one thing that you will not be able to do with him and I is blame us for where you are.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to own that because we're telling you everything you need to know. We're
Right.
putting all the tools in your toolbox
Mm-hmm.
so that you can have everything you need. If you're hitting the nail with your hand and with your fist, and you got a hammer in your toolbox, not my fault. You can call my sat phone while I'm on the beach in the Bahamas, in a whole nother country, and say, Dad, I'll be saying, I put a hammer in your toolbox. You didn't use it. Can't blame us. And the thing is, when it comes to, because we talk about food addictions, and when we start talking about
Right.
what actually is your body asking for when you get hungry, Your body is asking for nutrition.
Yeah.
It's asking for energy.
Mhm.
It's asking for it's asking for
efficient.
so it's the
Hydration. Yes.
Yeah.
it's asking you to put the right food in. So we just put garbage in and expect our body to assimilate it, right? And it doesn't. So what does I said this years ago. The switch stays on as long as you eat junk. So it never goes off. It's like a faucet that you leave on, or just your whole house will flood.
Right.
The switch is on until it gets enough nutrients. And as time goes on, all of the fast food that you're eating, there are no nutrients whatsoever in the fast food. So you can't get satiated. You'll get, your stomach will get full from garbage. Will get full, but about an hour later, you're hungry again. Right? Because your body's like, it's like digging through the trash. It's the best analogy I could come up with. Right? It's like you digging through the trash trying to find something good, right? You digging and digging and digging. All of a sudden, you find an apple. And you're like, oh my God, get that apple. And you eat that apple, and your body's like, oh, thank you. But what if there's no apple? Your body's just digging and digging and digging. And after an hour of digging, trying to find some food, is processing this, there's no nutrition in any of this, ding, the switch goes back on. And you're hungry again. And we go get the same thing that we had or another variation of it. And it's not like we don't know, but here's what happens. We go back to what we said on the very first episode of this when we're doing this. We talked about food addictions. Food addictions are real. There isn't a lot of evidence, because when you ask ChatGPT about food addictions right now, right? They're going to talk to you about sugar. They're going to talk to you about salt, right? But they're going to tell you that there hasn't been extensive studies on food addictions. Why do you think that is? Wow.
Nobody wants to admit it.
We don't want to know either.
Well, no, what they don't want you to know. Why would I do study on food addiction? And I'm trying to sell you the garbage. Right? Y'all have to understand, everything is regulated that way, and you have to be smarter than the average bear. Right? So if we understand the attack on what's happening, you get it. You're like, I understand why this is happening to me. I understand why I'm putting on weight around the midsection. I understand why I have no energy. I understand why, I'm around here and I can't do this and I can't do that. I'm constantly putting on weight. I'm sluggish. I'm falling asleep at my desk. I understand all of that now. But when you know it, what do you do about it? You shouldn't be doing the same thing that you've been doing. There should be a definitive line drawn in the sand that says, I have to stop doing that. But what happens is we've gotten so soft to a point to where now we need to ask 6 to 7 different sources. You think I should do this? You think I should do that? You think I should? What do you think about that? Right? And then next thing you know, you don't do nothing. Or you make a decision based on something that somebody else told you. Give you a good example. I love one of my vices. I love my 80-20 life. That 20%. One of them is cinnamon raisin bagels. Love, and I know that I love cinnamon raisin bagels with butter and honey almond spread, cream cheese, whatever you want to call it. That's one of my, when I want to go cheat, have a cheat meal, that's what I go get. Right?
You must be cheating when you out the house, because I ain't
I eat it before I get here, right? I'm like a fat person. Fat people eat the food before they get to the house. You don't want to be exposed, right? So,
for real,
this has been my guilty pleasure for a long time. So I said that to say this, right? When you know what you like, or when you know what's good for you, right? You just do it,
right?
So one day I went to, I think this was a few months ago. I went to Einstein Bagels. I went in and I said, I want bagel. I want butter on it, and I want the honey almond spread. Right? The girl said, ooh, I don't like the honey almond spread. Right? I like the veggie spread. And I said, and a part of me said, well, I ain't really asked you what you like.
I'm ordering and paying for it.
Right? But Nice Nate came out and said, oh, okay, so you say that's good? Yeah. And I said, okay, let me try that. I got it, and it's one of the most disgusting things I've ever eaten. Because I took somebody else's opinion on something that I didn't know like.
You know your taste buds.
I know what's right for me, so I just do it. When you know what's right, nobody's gonna keep coming up to you and telling you, you got to do that. Do that. Come on, you said you were gonna do that. Do that. Most people don't have that level of accountability partners. So what do? We go and we seek out a person that's gonna tell us to do what we want to do. And some of y'all out there, y'all listening to this right now, you're gonna hear this later, and you know I'm telling the truth. Go hang out with people that you know are doing. If you are already overweight and obese, you know you got bad reports from the doctor, right? And your coworkers come up to you and they say, "Look, we're going down here to, we're going down here to sit down at such and such restaurant, and you know they got all the good stuff that you like to eat that ain't good for you," and you say, "Okay, let's go." You're not gonna be able to maintain. Because the scales haven't been balanced yet. Your mental isn't strong enough yet to withstand the attack. So you have to stay out of the realm of the attacks. So it's just like putting a crackhead in a room with crack that's recovering. It's not going to be all right. If somebody's addicted to cocaine and you put cocaine on the desk and put them in a room and they haven't balanced the scales to a point to where they see the results of how it feels to live a drug-free life, then they're going to snort that cocaine up all day long. So don't put yourself in that situation. And I'm going to give you guys some things. Go ahead, Valerie.
I was going to say, we've made it okay to do the bad things, eat the bad things, and then as a fix, we'll go to the doctor and get this medication or this medication to make you feel better, when the thing that you're putting in your mouth is what caused it, but you're just putting a Band-Aid on it with the other medications and everything.
No, you're not. You're exposing it, digging a hole in it, and making it more effective. When you go to the doctor to get more medicine,
underneath the Band-Aid is just getting more and more.
It's not a Band-Aid. It's just, you're just boring a hole in your soul. No.
But that's true though. But that's how it works. We tell ourselves what we want to hear.
Yeah.
Right. And then people don't listen to Pam and I because they think we were just born fit. They think we just come out the womb and we was fit. No, we've struggled with the same thing that other people struggle with. We've been overweight. I can't say we've been obese, but we've been overweight before. So I'm like, see, now somebody is saying now, well, you ain't never been obese. You ain't walked a mile in my shoes. Well, I've seen what you look like when you're walking in them, and it's not good. So I don't have to walk in them, but I can tell you how to get out of them, right? See, and then so now somebody get mad because you say something like that. Be like, well, how dare you? Not how dare you.
Open the door.
Right. Come on, let's be real. I'm gonna give these 10. What you got? You got any more?
No. No, I was just going to talk about the only thing that I wanted to talk about. I don't know if we wanted to bring on any of the products, but we can just mention them. But just so that people know, because when it comes time to the cravings, when we were talking and mentioning, the reasons why you got to pay attention to your body, and just like how Nick was saying, how we were saying that your body is typically deficient in something. All right. And so I just want to share these quickly with you if you are craving things, so that you'll know this, right? So if I know everybody out there at some point in time has craved sugar, right? Sugar, we already know, is 10 times more addictive than cocaine, right? It's an addiction. Well, sugar cravings could signal fatigue, dehydration, or blood sugar imbalances. So if you're craving sugar, pay attention to that, because these could be some of the things that's going on in your body. Constant snacking might mean you're missing protein or healthy fats in your meals. So if you're constantly snacking, then it could mean that you need more protein in your diet, right? Protein is very, very important, or some healthy fats like avocados. I love avocados, right? hormonal fluctuations, especially in women, right? We know both men and women have hormones, but especially in women, can cause cyclical cravings, right? So around your cycle, ladies, right? Those hormonal imbalances. And then we just simply got to realize that we got to learn to pause, check in with our bodies so that we can identify these things. But if you're also someone out there who is craving chocolate, right? You crave chocolate, that could be a magnesium deficiency in your body, right? We have an incredible product, Magical D, that combines the magnesium, the vitamin D3 that people don't talk about, and the calcium together, that will be a game changer in your life. So you got to pay attention to these things. So it's not normal to crave. Okay. It's just so that you know. That's what I want.
And when people get too much information, sometimes they go into information overload, and they just pause and they do nothing, and they go back into doing what they've always been accustomed to doing. As Franchon said earlier, people want to be comfortable. And I'm just going to tell you guys, if you have a deficiency in your life, and by deficiency, we all have them. That means deficiency, meaning there's something that you should have been doing and you're not doing, right? Something, if you're overweight, if you're obese, if you have this disease or that disease, it is not going to be comfortable to bring your body back, right, into balance.
Right.
It's not going to be comfortable. It's gonna require something of you. The good part about it is that it won't take you as long to get it back in balance as it did to get it out of balance. That's the good part. And that's what you really have to look forward to, is that I can fix this faster than I created it. Right? So now, we talked about the triggers and things of that nature. Let's talk about some strategies, right? And give you guys a cheat sheet. Something that you can use when you start getting cravings for different things, and even cravings to overeat. Right? Here's 10 simple strategies that you can use. You're gonna want to write these down, right? And I can, if anybody wants these, I can send these out to them in a PDF format so you can have them. Okay. So watch this, because I know people don't know how to write no more. They don't got pen and paper no more. They just want to put everything and record it. But here's the thing. Strategy number 1 is your cheat sheet. The 15-minute rule. I'm sorry, the 5-minute rule. Pause for 5 minutes before acting on a craving. Cravings pass more often than you think. Pause just for 5 minutes. Do like Pam and I do all the time. Hey Siri, set a timer for 5 minutes. And don't do anything for 5 minutes. And that craving will just pass.
5-minute rule.
Number 2, name the craving. Label it. Stress, whatever it is, right? This is boredom. Name it boredom.
You're bored, right? And you just want to eat.
You just want to eat. Name it. Awareness breaks the automatic cycle. Just name it. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, plate visualization trick. Mentally build your plate before eating. Helps distinguish true hunger from habit. So before you fix the plate, build the plate mentally. What are you going to put on the plate? What does it look like? Right? If you're in that phase, be like, well, I'm getting ready to put 7 pounds of macaroni and cheese on here, and I'm getting ready to put some pork chops on here fried. And if you're still there, then this is not going to work for you. Right? Build your plate based on what you know. Mentally before you build it. Right? That's structure. Right? Number 4, the HALT check. HALT. Ask, am I really hungry, or just the acronym HALT? Am I really hungry, angry, lonely, tired, right? Hungry, angry, lonely, or tired? The HALT check. If it's one of those 4, then just pause for 5 minutes.
Right. And meet the real need.
And meet the real need, right? If you're lonely, call somebody and talk to somebody, right? Phone a friend.
That'll stop you from eating.
If you angry, figure out why you angry and fix that thing.
Get that
Don't eat.
lifeline.
Halt, right? Number 5, visualize the outcome. Picture how you'll feel after giving in. Long-term thinking beats short-term desire. Y'all, we all have that one thing that we love. And it's the one thing that comes to mind. And if you mess around and see it, it's hard to drive by it. It's hard to walk past it, right? It could be donuts. It could be cake. It could be Kool-Aid. It could be anything that you know is not bad for you, right?
But you know it is bad for you.
Right? Visualize the outcome of when you eat it. If you get ready to make some Kool-Aid, right? Some of y'all like, people still drinking Kool-Aid? I know, right? People are still drinking Kool-Aid.
I didn't even know they still sell it.
Yeah, they still sell it. Wow. Right? So you think about drinking that Kool-Aid. Visualize the outcome. You're gonna see yourself fix that jug of Kool-Aid for you actually visually. I'm gonna pour this little pack of toxic junk inside of this gallon of water, and I'm gonna dump half a bag of sugar in the Kool-Aid, and I'm gonna stir it up and put all of that inside of my body, and it's gonna taste good for a second, and now I got all that sugar in my body that my body don't know what to do with, because I'm not doing nothing with the sugar, the energy. I'm just sitting down, so my body's turning it into fat. All for a moment.
Right. And then you remember Kool-Aid, because first of all, when you make the little pack and you just pour it in all that sugar. But then what happened, you would go by the family members' house, they would add that extra sugar, right? You'd be drinking sugar water
diabetes
with the guy, right?
Look, it's the tricks that they use, right? Watch this. You remember have you seen how the cups get bigger? Like you go to the convenience store, and I know y'all don't go, but you've seen it, right? You go and you got the 64-ounce 7 joints, right? And you get the fountain drink and
the big gulp.
The big gulp.
There you go.
Right? I'm gonna blow you mind with it. I'm gonna blow you mind. What? Look how small the bottom of it is. Why is the bottom so small and the rest of the cup flares out?
So you can hold on to
it in your put it in your car.
Put it in your car. Hold on.
I want you to be conveniently killing yourself. If we can make this so that y'all, I'm telling y'all, we laugh at it, but it's the attack. Y'all gotta recognize the attack, right? So all of this sugar, Kool-Aid, man, just don't do it, right? Number 6, empowering self-talk. I'm choosing not to eat this. You're in control. You're not restricted, right? You can say, I'm choosing not to eat this. When you walking past that Dunkin' Donuts or you see it on the road, then I'm choosing not to eat that. Y'all, I love Dunkin' Donuts too. I love Dunkin' Donuts, but you know what? I have to tell myself, I'm choosing not to go in there and buy no Dunkin' Donuts and a coffee with sugar and cream. That was my thing, right? But you got to say positive self-talk. I'm choosing not to eat this. Empower self-talk. Number 7, mindful eating moments. Slow down. Slow down. Chew thoroughly. Focus on flavors and fullness. Say satisfaction, not stuffing. Right? We talked about this. Family night the other day, we talked about chewing your food, right? Chewing until you naturally start to swallow. Just slow down. What?
I know, because I could be that person that eats so fast. They used to be like, you sure y'all ate growing up?
I'm always the last one at the table.
Right.
I eat so slow.
Did you chew that?
He said, because both me and my brother, we eat fast.
I say like somebody gonna take my food.
Take the food, yeah.
Like we had way too much food, right? That's one thing my mom did. She bought so much food, we'd be throwing it in garbage, because it didn't get eaten. But
it's about
I don't know why. So I have to consciously slow down for real. Otherwise,
chew it thoroughly until you naturally start to swallow it, and you won't eat as much.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
So slow down and chew thoroughly. Number 8. A craving journal. Now this is serious. A craving journal, right? Log what triggered the cravings, spot the patterns, and break the loops. Right?
That's good.
What triggered the craving? Were you just driving down the road with nothing to do, and you was bored, and you said, "I just going over here and got me some pink box donuts."
Yeah, that's real, because typically, when I look back at the snacking, that's what I would be bored. Like, I just wanted to have something to do to keep on eating.
When you really should, but that's real what she just said, right? It's like when you get bored, you will start snacking, right? If it's like, y'all know why I go to bed at 9 o'clock at night. If it's 10 o'clock and I ain't in the bed, something's wrong. Yeah, right? I go to bed because I will eat all night long, and I ain't the only one, because y'all do the same thing. All y'all out there listening to this, watching this an hour later. The later you stay up, the more you eat, right? Because we sit there and say, you don't eat after this hour, right? I think we're at the 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, right? We're at 8 o'clock. Don't eat after 8 o'clock, and that's an hour of grace, right? Don't eat after 8 o'clock. Well, that means after 8 o'clock, you need to be wrapping it up. By 9 o'clock, you need to be somewhat toward the bed, getting in there, getting your cycle, your stuff going, process going, brushing your teeth, taking your shower. And you need to get your butt in the bed, because you up to 12 o'clock. There's no way you're not eating.
Yeah, that's true.
No way you're not snacking.
You're right.
You're right. And you can call me a liar all you want. But
no, that's true. Yeah, I mean, you tell the truth. Because I know the nights in which if I'm up late, he could be asleep. I'll come downstairs. I want something, but in my mind, I'm like, no, and I'll try to justify it. Like, I'll go
down, go to sleep.
I like peanut butter. Probably not the best thing. I like peanut butter, right? So I will go and try and get me a tablespoon of peanut butter. Try to justify it. But I should have went to bed.
Right? Go to sleep. Let your body rest.
Right.
Hey, number nine. A pause break. Pause phrase. All right. Repeat. Food isn't the solution right now. My goals matter more. Food isn't the solution right now. My goals matter more. It doesn't matter if you're eating pure whole food protein after 8 o'clock. It does not matter. You should stop eating and give your body some time off. You can process food, period. Okay. Again, food isn't the solution right now. My goals matter more. All right. And number 10, the 24-hour rule. The 24-hour rule. Daily indulgences till tomorrow.
Delay
indulgences until tomorrow. Cravings lose power with time. How do you delay indulgences? Take yourself to bed. You go do something, right? You go occupy yourself, and that'll take the craving away. But because if you sitting there doing nothing, you're gonna eat.
Yeah,
that's the way that is.
That's right? True. That's good.
Valerie, what you think?
I think that's good. You made me think about some things, and yeah.
My popcorn.
Yeah. Oh, now I love popcorn too. Yeah. But you know what?
We pop it ourselves.
I pop mine myself as well. In coconut oil.
Yeah, old school. Not that microwave stuff. Stuff killing y'all.
Well, I have a microwave popper. The silicone.
Yeah,
yep, it pops up. You put the popcorn in it, coconut oil, and put it in the microwave. Yes.
You know, anything you put, look, let me tell you something. A lot of people didn't know this. I was today old, probably I probably learned this 6 months ago.
Yeah.
If you look at y'all may know too. Somebody that didn't, I'm getting ready to highly blow your mind and enlighten you, right? If you look in your microwave, now the name microwave alone should say something to you.
Right.
Right. If you look in the bottom of your microwave
where
the plate goes, if you want to take the plate off to see it clearly, what's holding the plate on? What is that? Either y'all know what that thing, the symbol is holding the plate on?
In a magnet? I know it has grooves in it. What is it?
It is a nuclear symbol. shaped like a nuclear symbol. That's what it is. So what is it doing? The phrase nuke your food. Literally, you're putting nuclear microwaves in through your food, which renders it non-nutritional for you completely.
Wow.
Right? Why do they do that? Because people want things quick. So they think, well, let's get us to them quick. They'll buy it. We'll make a lot of money. It doesn't matter if we call it a microwave. They're not going to care because they can warm their food up quick instead of cooking whole foods and warming them up in the oven.
Y'all remember the hot plate? I know I'm dating myself.
I got one.
Hot plate that keep the food hot already.
That was how Daddy ate, right?
Well, but that keeps the food hot. It has to be hot already. It doesn't warm it up. It has to keep it hot already if it's already hot. But what about the food you get out of the fridge for leftovers? Y'all think about it. Unless some of y'all up, some of y'all like, well, shoot, I'm still gonna
take too long.
I don't care, right? But
this make me go buy me a pot to pop my popcorn.
Yeah, but the thing about the microwave is,
we pop the pot.
It's slowly killing us, right? Of course, but we know that. Even though I said it doesn't matter, right? But how do we circumvent some of this stuff? What do we do if we got leftovers? What do? All right, we take them out. Right, and we use the fire like we used to use on the oven, and we be the P word. Be patient. Allow the food to heat up with the positive self-talk. This is better for me.
Right.
This is helping me and not hurting me. And I know all of this because we've been so programmed to think that this is right and that's wrong. But we don't really understand. We don't know what's really right, what's wrong anymore because they've been telling us what's wrong is right. So if we just stop for a moment to think, but it's going to require something of us. It's going to require us to slow down, drop out of warp a little bit, and be very deliberate with the things that we do. Right? I went in the store the other day, and our kids like, Pam and I, we just drink water. And I drink coffee. Pam don't drink coffee no more. She drinks lemon water with all kinds of cayenne and stuff in it now. Glorified lemon water, right? But I went in the store and I was looking for something that the boys could drink that would be flavorful. And what I found out was there is nothing that they can drink unless you make it out of fresh fruit. Because everything has something in it that is killing you.
Right.
But they're not betting on us. They're betting on that we'll actually drink the stuff that's killing us because we want the flavor. We just got to be smarter, y'all. And the whole reason why we started this, this whole platform was to educate people on the small changes that they can make in their life and to get them to a point to where they start really looking for the things themselves. To say, okay, let's be more aware of what's going on around us. And really, like the old saying says, sometimes you have to slow down to speed up. And once you slow down and you speed up, here's what you're going to realize is that you're going in a completely opposite direction than everybody else. And you feel like you're moving at a perfectly fine speed because everybody else is killing themselves, but you're putting forth the effort to not kill yourself. Right. And for all of you out there, if you have kids that can't provide for themselves, because if they're providing for themselves, all you could have done was giving them a foundation. And if they decide to go off the deep end, that's on them. But if you're still, I'm saying it, y'all gonna be mad. Y'all gonna make excuses. If you still feeding your kids fast food, shame on you. Shame on you. If you still giving your kids chicken nuggets, fries, I don't care. You pick the fast food restaurant right now. It doesn't matter which one you pick. They're all terrible. If you're still giving your kids that, then you are poisoning your children. Put that in your peace pipe and smoke it.
All right, y'all. Anybody can close words? We can jump off here on tonight. Anybody got anything else? Valerie, Franchon, close out? Nope, all good. All minds clear. All right. Well, you know what? As we close out tonight, this was a great conversation. I know we didn't really bring on the products on tonight, but we come on here to share incredible information about different topics that we want to share with the world in order to help to change somebody's life out there. And so you all know that we are part of an incredible company that has some incredible nutritional products that are really the game changer when it comes time to balancing your health. Got to give a huge shout out to the Tahitian Noni, because this one
before you get into Tahitian Noni and
yeah,
other
no,
products,
because I don't want to bring on any of it. But
well, no, we don't bring them on because you jump on things like this all the time, and you hear people talking about products, and they're talking about how our products are this and our products are that, right? Well, the reality is, no product is what it says it is until it has been tried and tested, right? And it needs to be backed by not just science, but by the right science. Because there's a science out there that's trying to kill you to make $1.
Right.
But then there's a science out there that's trying to make you healthy. Right. But at the same time, make no mistakes about it, the products cost money.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're backed by good science, by good people that understands that we don't want to just be giving people stuff just to be giving people stuff for them to buy it. We want to give them stuff that actually works. And Pam is talking about the Noni. She's talking
results.
we're talking about the body balancing drops. We talked about balancing the scales earlier, right?
Right.
We can talk about the Advantage, right? Which is a game changer right now, killing the visceral fat in your body that's wrapped around your organs. If you're really serious about changing your life, you can't do it just by eating food. You will never get enough. And because guess what? You're always at a deficit. Because we live in these United States of America, whatever country you live in.
Right.
We live in a toxic environment externally, and the things we put in our body are toxic. So we have to get our bodies back in balance. How do we do that? We have to help it out. We have to give it products that it can actually assimilate. What does that mean? That means that your body, when it goes in your body, it's not weeding through trash. It's saying, I like this. Let me filter this out to where it should be. I like this. This is burning the visceral fat, and your organs are now coming out, and now they can breathe and do what they were supposed to do. And it's all natural. It's not Ozempic. It's not Wegovy. It's not any of those things when you put in your body and then you stop taking them. And now you either can't stop losing weight or you gain the weight 7-fold. Because I just showed Pam a picture of somebody today that's on Ozempic and they can't stop losing weight. So it affects everybody differently. But I heard somebody say this the other day, and of course our baseline is knowing. I put this on everything's base. I heard somebody say this the other day, and I'm going to say I agree with this statement, kind of 50-50, right? Because it's a very fine line when you start putting things in your body that are unnatural. GLP-1, if you start looking up what a GLP-1 it is a hormone that our bodies create, right? But the reality is the body stops creating it. So we go to this GLP-1s and we get them and we just take those. We start jabbing needles in our stomach and we become essentially, first of all, they're classified as a drug and medication. So we start jabbing them in our stomach and we start losing the weight. This one young lady said, if you want to take Ozempic, any GLP-1, take it. It's your choice, right? You should have, if you want to go out and get a super fast weight gain, take it, right? She said, but you need to, if you're not strength training, if you're not changing your diet, then guess what? It's going to be detrimental for you. It's going to backfire on you, right? And then she said, you know what? She said, the reality is, if you're taking Ozempic, right? If in any of the GLP-1s, but if you just weren't taking those and you started doing strength training and you started eating properly, then you would start seeing results. Because those GLP-1s that they're putting out, guys, they're man-made, they're synthetic. So we're ending up getting the Ozempic, and we're getting something that our body now requires all the time.
Right.
It becomes a dependency because it's not helping you. It's not like we couple things along. We got the advantage. If your body, if you were stripping away the visceral fat from around your organs and trust, know, and believe, as Tam always says, there is visceral fat around your organs. If you haven't been taking this advantage, there is visceral fat that is strangling your organs right now. They're operating at, if you're lucky, 60%. If you're an athlete, they could be operating at 70, 75%. But if you're not super active and working out and doing strength training, your organs, that fat is not being burned. So you're feeling a certain kind of way, and we've just caused that. It's like it's natural. This is how I feel. I'm getting old. No, you're unhealthy. That's all that is. And your organs, on top of having to pump blood and do what they're supposed to do, that now they've got fat wrapped around them, and now they can't function. So we just have to be smart, guys, and understand, if you get out here thinking that we're just trying to sell you products, you've missed the entire moment. We're just giving you an alternative that is 100% all natural, that your body naturally assimilates, and they're backed by science that we show you.
Absolutely. That's good stuff. All right, everybody. So there you have it. All right. Great conversation. Thank you both for jumping on here tonight and having another phenomenal conversation with us on tonight, right? What are you hungry for? And so we talked about some of the triggers and then Nate gave us 10 incredible tips on how to overcome that battle. All right. So we will see you back next time. Everybody have yourself an incredible evening. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. Every product. Yes, somebody. Say yes. Yeah, help. He's in your life for real.
I hope I made some of y'all mad out there tonight. Go make a decision. That's what mad means.
Right. Make a decision. All right. Good night, everybody.